Rem meets Subaru 1, feeling her chest tingle. The girl looked outside the window. The girl looked at the path in front of the gate that led to the main road, visible from the mansion window, then looked back. Rem. Master Roswell, it seems my sister is coming back. It looks like she's in a bit of a rush, though. Roswell. She's coming back earlier than planned. Since she's coming back soon, that must mean that she had left there at Niite. The man responded carefully to the girl who gave a report based on her chest tingling, and he really sounded like he was feigning ignorance. It was a person who was sitting in a leather chair and held a cup that gave out steam. He had long indigo blue hair. His different colored blue and yellow eyes were mesmerizing. You could say that at a glance he looked like a frail, handsome man. However, the clown makeup applied on his face ruined these classy impressions. Roswell. In a rush, I wonder if something happened. Do you know the details? Rem. I'm sorry, I don't know much about the situation. But it seems Miss Beatrice has work to do. Roswell. Beatrice does? I see, but that means a bone has been broken. When Roswell looked up at the ceiling upon hearing her explanation, he pompously put down the cup onto the desk. After that, he fixed the posture of his long legs, and when he turned around to face the girl as he moved the chair, he said, Roswell. At any rate, the things Ram does usually aren't pointless, I think. Sorry, but can you go find Beatrice? I think she may be a little late, Thuwug. Rem. Yes, understood. After receiving her master's orders, she lightly held onto the maid outfit she was wearing and answered with a perfect curtsy. On her lowered head, where she wore a white headdress, she had somewhat short blue hair. After the servant bowed, Roswell tugged on his chin approvingly and said, Roswell. Well then, please take care of business. Rem. The girl, Rem bowed formally again and quietly left the office. Too, with her blue hair swaying, Rem walked briskly through the mansion's spacious corridor. It was Lugunica Margrave Roswell L. Mather's mansion. Rem was the head maid of this mansion. She was a maid that could do everything and did most of the mansion work. Even though the Roswell mansion was pretty big for a mansion, there were currently only 2 people who were permanent maids due to various reasons. There were only Rem and her twin sister Ram. So Rem made up for lack of workers and took care of most of the mansion work by herself. And then today, she had been contacted by her sister that had been away from the mansion for business. Then the exchange from earlier happened. Rem. Judging from the range of synesthesia, I suppose my sister will be back in about an hour. There did exist magic where they could communicate in real time that also canceled far distances, but the sisters didn't need that. The synesthesia the twins had. Rem and her sister Ram possessed a special ability that relayed strong emotions and small thoughts. She had felt her sister's return and her slight sense of impatience precisely as a result of synesthesia. However, at this point in time it was uncertain whether she'd be able to do what her sister had asked of her. Rem. If only the Great Spirit was here, things would be much easier. Miss Beatrice. Rem boldly rose up to the difficult challenge, talking about how there was no use in asking for too much. The challenge was very simple, open every single door that she sees. However, there was almost 100 doors in the mansion. This was, of course, no easy task. Rem. Miss Beatrice, which one are you in? She opens the door that had a reference room plate on it. She was met with a bunch of books and a pile of a countless number of books. It was normal, since it was a reference room. Normally, there aren't any people who permanently stay in the reference room. Rem wasn't going to do that either. Rem, Miss Beatrice, Miss Beatrice. While calling out to her, Rem calmly opened doors one after another, though at an unusual pace. After doing that for 5 minutes, Beatrice. Ah, you're so annoying, loud, and noisy I can't stand it. A lone girl comes out of the next room with a loud but cute voice. It was a little girl that had her hair put into drills, and she wore a magnificent dress. Seeing this girl that had dollish looks appear, Rem straightened herself and bowed deeply. Beatrice. You've been so loud and you just don't pipe down, I suppose. What in the world do you want from me at this time of night? Rem. I apologize, Miss Beatrice, but thank goodness you're still awake. Beatrice. HMPH, even if I was sleeping, the noise would wake me up. You sure do have guts, little sister. The girl, Beatrice, arrogantly snorted at Rem, who bowed, with a book held to her chest. She was acting all high and mighty, but Rem didn't even care. Beatrice was someone of a noble position. The way she interacts with Rem, a maid, is something to be expected. Rem. By the way, Miss Beatrice, Master Roswell needs you for something. I've been told that he really needs your help for it. Beatrice. For him to summon me through a maid, he's become quite an arrogant one, I suppose. It seems he's forgotten that there is no hierarchical relationship between me and him, I suppose. Rem. Beatrice, who seemed to not like this selfish way of going about things, was becoming grumpy since she had been summoned late at night. Beatrice. You should hurry up and show me the way before my mood changes, I suppose. Rem. Yes, thank you. I'll show you the way. Beatrice broke the momentary silence, then expressed tolerance in a way that showed that she had gave in. Saved by her thoughtfulness, Rem started walking through the corridor as she guided Beatrice. Beatrice. I heard Pucky's instructions. He said to prepare a bath, a clean towel, and the guest room, I suppose. Rem. The guest room, you say? Beatrice. Yes. It seems that foolish girl is bringing someone back, I suppose. Murmured Beatrice in somewhat of a displeased manner while showing no emotion in her eyes. Rem thought about Beatrice's instructions in her mind without mentioning what she'd said. The guest room is always ready. All she has to do is prepare some sheets and let in some fresh air. Then heat up the bath, prepare a clean towel. She immediately realized that they were bringing in a wounded person. With that, she also understood why Beatrice was needed. Beatrice is a great healer that Rem could never compare to. She hears the earth dragon growl from afar, and had a feeling that the dragon carriage was very close. 3. The black-haired boy laying down on the bed was breathing profoundly in his sleep, as though he was dead. Healing the boy and the boy that had been taken in took at dawn took a lot of time. Outside the window, the sun was already setting westward in orange light. It wouldn't be long before night approaches. Emilia. Now he should be relieved, yeah. Sitting on a chair next to the bed, breaking into a smile out of relief, was a silver-haired girl. It was Emilia. Emilia was the one who took this boy back and asked for his injuries to be healed. Now that the commotion finally settled down for the time being, Rem threw a question at Emilia. Rem. Lady Emilia, now that things have settled down, I think it's about time for you to tell me what's the situation. Emilia. You're right. This boy's name is Subaru. I had a lot of trouble at the capital, but that's when he helped me out. I owe him my life and a lot of other things. Rem. Is that so? At her vague explanation, Rem shot a glance at the person next to her. She looked at her pink-haired twin sister who looked identical to her. Being looked at by her sister, the older sister, Ram kept her stone face, shook her head, and said, Ram. Even I don't know the situation in detail. It's something that happened while Lady Emilia and I were separated. Rem. Separated? I thought you were with Lady Emilia to escort her. Ram. It was to encourage Lady Emilia to be independent and have a strong sense of responsibility. Rem. As expected of my sister, I'm very impressed. She spoke in a bit of an insolent way, but Rem unconditionally accepts what Ram says. Seeing those sisters interact like that, Emilia burst out laughing. Emilia, you two really do get along really well, but don't make me laugh too much. I want to let this boy get some good rest. Rem. This boy must be someone you met while being separated from my sister. Emilia. Nope, he's not. Subaru is MY, my what? Emilia put her finger to her chin and started to worry with a serious expression on her face. It didn't seem like she was trying to put off Rem. She saw that she really was at a loss for an answer. If she wasn't trying to hide something, this must be someone whom she had too little information on in the first place since she was having trouble explaining. Then perhaps this was a kind of a person that mustn't get close to Emilia. Rem, this person saved Lady Emilia's life. Master Roswell acknowledged that fact too. No matter how stupid he looks, he's our guest. You do understand what that means, right? Rem. But sister, Rem. She calls her name once for a moment. Rem felt like her sister had looked deep into her heart, and after that she couldn't continue. Emilia stared at the silent sisters in confusion, then slowly sat down. Emilia, I actually want to stay by his side until he wakes up, but apparently he won't wake up until morning. Ram. We were told that she used up most of his mana to heal, after all. I was surprised that Miss Beatrice helped heal someone she didn't even know. Emilia. Because of that, Puck will be Beatrice's for a day tomorrow. Also, Roswell is gone from the mansion for tonight, I think. Rem. He was called over suddenly, so he left the mansion before the afternoon. He plans on returning tomorrow night. Emilia. I see. Well, let's leave the room for now. Emilia, who seemed to be satisfied with the sisters' replies as she had a quick stretch, prompted them to leave the room. Then, lastly, Emilia ran her fingers through the bangs of the boy laying on the bed, through Subaru's bangs. Emilia, I have so many things I want to talk about with Subaru when he wakes up. Rem felt like she was whispering, and it sounded like it had some sweet anticipation to it. When they left the room, they separated in the corridor for each of their plans. Emilia's duty to report the trouble in the capital to Roswell was one in particular. Emilia. He's gonna get mad at me. How do I explain this? Emilia dropped her shoulder and was trudging towards her private room in the mansion. Rem watched her go, said goodbye to Ram, who had work left to do, and went to the kitchen to prepare dinner. Before that, Rem confirmed that they were gone and snuck into the room where the boy was sleeping in. She silently closed the door with her back and walked up to the bed in the gloomy room that had the lights off. Rem, who held breath, only heard the sleeping boy's soft breathing. The boy's innocent sleeping face reflected in Rem's light blue eyes. She didn't know who this suspicious boy was or what he was after. Emilia had explained that he was a lifesaver, but she just could not believe that he didn't have an ulterior motive. Emilia was beautiful, but she was so vulnerable that just watching her would make you uneasy, and there was no end to people with bad intentions going after her. Before problems arise, before peace is disturbed, maybe I should do something. Dangerous thoughts rise up in Rem's head, and she silently reached for the boy's neck. Then, Subaru. You're cute even when you're mad parallel worlds, fantasies. With a very sloven look on his face, the boy talked in his sleep like a slob while drooling. Just as Rem heard that, she didn't know what to do with her hand, and Subaru. Og, seeing the sleeping boy shriek after being flicked by her finger, made her feel relieved. Rem, I don't think I'll ever get along well with this guest. Please leave as soon as possible. Only Rem's superficially polite murmur was left in the guest room before she exited it.